Bend over a small sapling and make an angled cut with your knife at the bend. The pressure of the sapling bending should make the cut much easier. Then cut the sapling clear near the base of the stump so that it can regenerate. Choose a straight section of wood that is relatively free of knots. Use your knife to make a number of angled cuts around the diameter of the sapling, and then flip it round and make a more angled cut towards the one you just made. Now you can easily split the sapling clean in half. Now make some slice cuts on one end of the stick. Eventually you should have an angled point. Then make a very small V-notch just a few centimeters back from the slice cut. It only needs to be a shallow notch, but make sure the cut is clean and not messy. Then come back about 6 to 8 centimeters and make a shallow slice around the whole diameter of the stick. Sometimes it's easier to rotate the stick as you do this. Now use the handle of your knife or another stick to lightly tap all over the outer bark. This is going to help break up the fibres between the inner bark and the cambium layer. Then hold the top end of the stick in one hand and the bottom end in the other hand and twist and pull the bark free. You might hear or feel a small pop as it breaks free from the inner layers below the bark. This works best in springtime when the sap is running. On dry and warm days, it's much more difficult. Gently slide off the outer bark, being careful not to split or rip it. Place this to one side. Next, make a slice cut about 3 centimeters back from the V-notch and cut towards the notch. You will need to make the V-notch slightly deeper at this point. Keep making thin slice cuts towards the V, but be careful not to put too much pressure so that you don't slip through the V-notch and split the end of the stick. Finesse is pretty key here. You can stop making the cuts when you've got down to the pith of the stick, so about half the depth of the wood. Next, gently slide the bark sleeve back onto the stick, making sure the hole in the bark lines up with the V-notch that you cut. And now you've made a whistle, which can make a really high-pitched sound and can be used to attract the attention of search and rescue or anyone nearby. You can even use this to make an SOS signal, which is 3 short blasts, followed by 3 long blasts, and finished with 3 short blasts of the whistle again.